We back in the house. We are back in the house.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you know what time of the year this is?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
NFL Combine Week.
Gotta love the combine.
Gotta love the combine. Gotta love the combine.
Fresh players, maybe newbies coming for us to look at, evaluate.
We were 3-14. We're gonna need a whole lot of new people.
Yeah, because the
turnover on this roster.
Because the old ones we got don't need to be on the team right now.
There's a lot of people that need to be looking for jobs. Yes, sir.
Paper and plastic for a lot of them right now. I'm sorry.
Anyway, so who are we? I'm Clay from Brooklyn, football with the fellas. Who's my man here?
It's your man Mazo. It's all about Big Blue, y'all. Hey,
Yes.
like we said, it's NFL 2025 combo time. It's combo time.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So the combine is 4 days, right? It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This is day one. And the day one is defensive linemen and linebackers. So there's a lot of people I have my eye on. I know we've been talking about.
Oh, yeah.
To the defensive line next to Dexter. So we don't have to give up, 200 yards a game rushing anymore.
And Dexter with a bad back because he's getting crushed with 3 or 4 guys jumping on every play.
Yeah, we're wasting his prime, basically. So, yes, the defensive linemen and linebackers. I mean, listen, I think Bobby Okereke is a very good middle linebacker, inside linebacker. I think he's very good. I think Micah McFadden, though, we could upgrade from him. He's all right. He's in the right place a lot, but he misses too many tackles for my liking.
Is he more of like a rotational player, not to start
Very
but a
good
guy to bring in?
Absolutely. If he's your third inside linebacker, but 2 of them start, and he's the guy you come in with to let those guys catch a breather every now and then, excellent. I'd love to see him get 20 snaps a game, but not 60 snaps a game.
That'll work for me. That'll work.
It also might be a good trade piece. I mean, quite frankly, he's better than a lot of other teams inside linebackers. So, if we get to that point where we are trying to move up back into the first round again, and some other team is like, I don't know, 20th in the draft, and they want our second round pick plus something, he's the kind of plus something that might make some teams say, oh, I wouldn't mind having him. He's an upgrade.
I do that though. Anything that gets back into the first, what do we always say? We are not one player away. If we were, I can understand. We're not one player away.
I don't care if that player is Patrick Mahomes. We are not one player away.
No way. And by the way, fans, people listening up here, in our next episode, you're going to hear Clay from Brooklyn, and he's going to show you a way for us. It's wild. It's crazy. But it's an how can I put it? When I say it's an inventive way, it's thinking out of the box way for the Giants to work the system, but get a valuable trade asset and get a valuable a pick. But in the next episode, you'll check it out.
I'll explain it. And for those of you who are watching from Giants Big Blue View, I posted it today, but I'm going to explain it on this video tomorrow. So yeah. If you want to get a sneak peek, you can go look at Giants Big Blue View for Clay from Brooklyn. But I'll explain it in more detail tomorrow.
He told me about it. I'm still shaking my head. And, we decided he needs a whole new episode by himself talking about this. That's how wild this is. But, hey, you let me know. Let me know what you think about this one. Please.
Yeah, I think it's got potential. I'm not saying that I expect it to happen, but I think if it did happen, it'd be a win-win for both sides. It's a win-win-win for 3 different sides.
I'm in favor of it, but it's just you'll see. Next episode, you'll see. Check it out.
But let's talk about the combine day one. If you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen and just show you a little bit about how the combine, how the NFL keeps track of the combine results. So you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
All right. So what they do is they list the different events: the 40-yard dash, 10-yard split, vertical leap, broad jump, 3-cone, 20-yard shuttle, and bench. And they'll show you who did what, basically, in each of those events. So I got 40-yard dash highlighted. and I have all, meaning all positions, highlighted. You can go individually if you want to by position group. And then you'll see in descending order of how well they did, how well they did. So, for example, defensive tackle, the fastest defensive tackle this year at the combine was a gentleman named Ty Robinson out of Nebraska.
Wow.
Honestly, I hadn't heard of till today. It's going to be a lot of those, by the way.
Oh yeah.
But I'm really interested in defensive tackles. As I said, you know, we know we need a defensive tackle. So I'm scrolling down to see if there's people I have heard of who put in some impressive times. I've heard of Aeneas Peebles from Virginia Tech. Darius Alexander from Toledo looked good in one of those. I can't remember now if it was the Shrine Bowl or the Senior Bowl, but I'm pretty sure it was the Senior Bowl. He looked good that week. Derek Harmon out of Oregon is a guy we've talked about before. A lot of people like him. That he got down under 5 to 4.95 is pretty impressive. He had been projected to run like a 5.1 by some of the other websites
Wow.
that do this. CJ West, you know, these are some people that I have heard of before and have my eye on. Joshua Farmer.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So, you know, this just shows you, and you see the range. The last one is Yahya Black out of Iowa, ran a 5.39. I mean, again, these are really large human beings.
I
So
was gonna say he's not the small guys.
I ain't mad at him, but that's a pretty big difference between a 4.83 and a 5.39. Now, do I want my defensive tackles running 40 yards? No. As I said before in our little pre-production meeting, if your defensive tackle is 40 yards downfield, that's already a problem.
It's always a problem. Already a problem.
So
Already a
I
problem.
don't need my defensive tackles to run 40 yards very often, but it's nice to know they can. And it does speak to what kind of shape they're in if they can. Maybe a more valuable piece of information, though.
The split. Yes.
So if we look at the 10-yard split, you see some of the same names at the top, right? That guy, Jared Harrison Hunt, was near the top. Ty Robinson, who was at the very top of the 40, is still here. Darius Alexander, still here. CJ West has actually moved up a little bit, so is Derek Harmon. So you see that there are some defensive tackles that seem to have a little bit of athleticism and quickness, which is one of the ways of measuring athleticism. They also tested the vertical leap. Now,
I always wonder about that with the vertical leap for the linemen. I mean, they typically I see the guys they'll put their hands up and all, and but they typically on top of the quarterback by the time they do all that. But
right, or so far away because they've been blocked that they're just trying to get their hands up to kind of get in the passing lanes. But when you're 300 pounds and got 20 pounds of equipment on you, and there's a 300-pounder hitting you,
right.
you're not jumping 36 inches off the ground. Like, it's nice to know you can do that in, as they call them, the underwear Olympics. But in real life on a football field, Mr. Ingram Dawkins is not going to be 3 feet off the ground.
Right.
But it does speak to the explosiveness and again, the athleticism. So again, this is what they're showing us with the vertical, and then there's the standing broad jump, which you never have to do in football. Like, again, it shows you what kind of power the man has in the lower part of his body and what kind of he can generate. But if your defensive tackle has to do a 10-foot broad jump, something went wrong.
Wonder why is he doing the first?
Why is he doing that? Like, is there somebody that fell in front of him? He has to jump over. Now, the 3-cone and the shuttle, those make much more sense. Right, those are testing quickness and agility and the change of direction. And again, you'll see Darius Alexander. I'm really happy to see Darius Alexander is consistently near the top of this. There's TJ Sanders, who, out of South Carolina. I kind of like him, and Jordan Phillips out of Maryland. Kind of like him, although Jordan Phillips' time is very bad. Full second, basically slower, which is a lot for a 3-cone drill. And then the 20-yard shuttle. Again, some of the same names. But that just to show you how this tool operates. Now, if I click on all again, because remember today was, was defensive linemen and linebackers. If I click on all, most of the people at the top of this are now going to be linebackers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And some important, I think, piece of information, because this is actually much more relevant. Some of these things are more relevant for a linebacker than a lineman. again, I don't necessarily want my linebacker to run 40 yards, but it's nice to know that he can, right? Because he may have to chase a Saquon Barkley downfield on a wheel route, or he may have to chase Lamar Jackson who's scrambling and taking off a field. Like you may not have to run 40 yards very often, but you're going to have to run 20 to 30 yards fairly often.
If you don't catch,
I'm sorry.
if you don't catch Lamar or Saquon by 2025,
You ain't catching him,
you
right?
ain't catching them. So.
Right. You just got to hope he has to slow down to juke somebody else further down.
Right.
Keep running, but you're not going to catch him if he doesn't slow down. Donovan Izaraku is an edge rusher out of Boston College who looked good in one of those weeks. Again, I can't remember now if it was Shrine or Senior Bowl, but one of those he played in and looked pretty good. Demetrius Knight, I like this young man, linebacker out of South Carolina. I've been watching a lot of him.
Oh, I like it. Yeah, I like his time. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. These are again. I'm looking right now at the 20-yard shuttle. But if we go back to the 40-yard dash, you'll see James Pierce. I don't know this young man at UCLA, to be honest, but James Pierce is someone that a lot of people had high on the board as a possible first-round pick. And he lived up to the hype as far as the speed anyway. And Jihad Campbell, who I love as an inside linebacker, good to see him running in the low 4.5s. I'm really a fan of his. Yes, Demetrius Knight again. Teddy Buchanan, that's the young man I was saying. I believe he led his conference in tackles. He's a tackle machine. I was afraid he might not be quite this fast. So the 4.6 is a solid speed for an inside linebacker. It's not a great speed, but it's a solid speed. And like I said, tackling machine. He reminds me of Blake Martinez, who I thought was a very good player until he got hurt.
But see, but them, I'm thinking with a guy like that, and he's a tackle machine, I would look at his shuttle times more because I'm thinking I want to see him go side to side and how quickly he can go, he can change direction.
Absolutely. So let's see what his 3-cone was. Or actually, I could do this the other way. I could just click on him. Let's see, did he do the 3-cone? He may not have. Not everybody does every event. You would like to think that they would, but they don't all do every event. So let me go back to the 40
If he didn't do it, it's interesting why he didn't do it.
Right. I'm going to go back to his 40 time, and then I'm just going to click on him. and we'll see what his overview was. So as a prospect, they graded him at a 5.8, and they claim that's an average backup or special teamer.
Interesting.
But they're probably showing him run. Yeah. When you click on the person's name, they show them run the 40. Yeah, that's right. There he is.
Oh.
That's him running his.
I love it. I love it.
Exact same time, unofficial.
But you see, he did the 40. He did the 10-yard split. That's a pretty good 10-yard split time. He had a 40-inch vertical, which is really good. Like, that's crazy. That's almost as high as you jumped in college.
Whoa.
That's crazy. And a 10-foot 5-inch broad jump, also very, very good. In fact, that's like really good. So
he's 6'2", 233. 233. Right.
Solid size. I mean, inside linebackers are usually somewhere around there, around the 6'2", 6'3", 230 to 245 range for the inside linebackers is pretty common. His arms are pretty short for his size. I mean, my arms are 34-inch, and I'm 5'10". Now, I have extremely long arms, but for a 6'2" football player to have a 31 and 3/8-inch arm, that's not very good.
And mine are like 36. Like
I'm sure. I mean, you're 6'4". And,
right. So I'm like, wow.
So I have some of the largest hands I've ever seen. 9 and 3/8. That's not you.
They got him being an average backup or a special teamer.
That's what they're saying.
That's their grade.
That's their grade. And obviously they've been wrong a lot. But they're right a lot. So, I'm not going to say that I know more than they know. I'll just say this is not my take on him. I think this young man's going to be better than that. his production score, they gave him a 61. His athleticism score is 79. And they say overall the average of those two, or not the average, but they rate him overall as a 71. Anyway, so that's a particular young man that I do like and would like to see a little more of.
If he can tackle, he'd be more than a backup with the Giants.
I think so. I think if he made our team, we'd get him on the field because he's a very good tackler, and we missed a lot of tackles last year. If we look at the 10-yard split, we'll see this Campbell. That makes me very happy that he showed that quickness. There's just James Pierce guy again, although there was some character concerns about him. I don't want to go too deep into that because I don't know the young man. I don't want to besmirch his good name.
Right.
But I'll just say that a lot of the different pundits have been saying that there have been some character concerns with James Pierce, and that's why he was falling down some people's boards. Demetrius Knight again. Okay, so again, that's a good look at some of the things that they tested today. They do the bench tomorrow. If you click on bench, you'll see that it says there's no data available. They do the bench tomorrow, but they did all the running things today. So there's Princely Uman.
Yeah, could you click on him for a second?
Yeah,
He's the guy I was looking for too.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see his size again. He is
Right. So these are official heights and weights now. Like this is no longer
right.
just what the school says. So he's 6'4", 245 basically. And let's see. That's him.
Wow, okay. I'm watching. Yeah, I've been watching him for a bit. And
All right. But he had a 38-inch vertical, which is, again, outstanding. A 10'6" broad jump, outstanding. And a solid, not great, but solid 3-cone drill of 7.33. And the 20-yard shuttle, 4.46. So not a great athletic score, as you saw, overall 69, but not bad. And he's someone who seems to have a plan when he rushes the passer. He's got some pass rush moves. Like some guys are just fast or just strong or just quick. He's someone who they at least list as having pass rush moves and who has had some success getting after the quarterback.
they also had you saw it. They had him as a plus starter. Eventually,
Yeah.
plus starter.
And I think he's probably going to go in the second round. To be honest, I wouldn't be shocked if he went late in the first, but I think he's a second round pick, which is a solid. Second round pick is good. There was somebody else looking for that.
Wasn't there a guy from was it South Carolina or is it
South Carolina? Nicky Manwari. He's going to be, I believe, he'll be with the defensive backs. But Demetrius Knight is the linebacker. This is him right here. Yeah, this is the inside linebacker that I like in South Carolina. Yeah, they have him at 6'3", eventual plus starter. 6'2", 235. Slightly longer arms, slightly bigger hands.
Georgia Tech.
he went up right. He went up.
It's a good time for him. Good time for him.
4.58 40.
Mm-hmm. And you see his 3 cones a little bit better, 7.12. The other guys were 7.33. His 20-yard shuttle is a little bit better. His vertical isn't as good, 31.5. I mean, that's still, that's a pretty decent vertical leap, but those other two guys had enormous, crazy jump out the gym vertical leaps. I like Demetrius Knight. I do like him. I wouldn't be at all upset if he winds up on the Giants.
We put his name down to watch him too.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna be coming back to him. Someone I was looking for.
Defensive line is wait a minute, what about what's the guy from Michigan?
Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant.
Kenneth Grant, not Mason Graham.
I don't think that they did any of the drills. Yeah, their names aren't listed here under the 40.
Oh, okay.
You know what? I'll just search for them.
I figure the top guys might not have done And that's like every year that if you're going to
Right.
probably go to the
Right.
first, they're not going because you could go back the other way. You could drop down in there if you don't
Right.
show really well. You know what, they might not be in the combine, but they'll have a college day.
They'll do a pro day, but they're probably there and they're probably going through the meetings and talking to. I'm
Right.
sure I'm sure they're going through the meetings, but they aren't participating in all the drills. I want to see what Landon Jackson did. Maybe.
And that's when you know you made it. You can do that.
Yeah, there he is. Okay. Nice. Okay. So this is that guy I was telling you. He's like 6'6", I believe. Defensive end from Arkansas. Yeah, 6'6", 265, 33 and a quarter inch arms. Oh, there he is.
Man.
Defensive end.
That's a big dude. Man.
I came out here, I wanted to get over 38.
We got you in slow-mo.
Yeah, 40 and a half.
He almost tied the record for vertical leap.
Hobbs, man.
And he's a defensive lineman?
Defensive end.
Ooh. We could still use one of them too.
Very athletic when it comes to jumping.
I probably could say it's every position, right? We can use one of them. We can use one of them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like I did great position work. I do wish
Does it tell you like does it tell us like predict when they figure he might go or any player might go in the draft?
Different people do that. This place doesn't,
Okay.
but they do grade you. So like he's a 6'3" too, right? He will eventually be a plus starter. So that probably means he's likely to go in the first 2 rounds, right? Maybe third to latest. But I don't think that, if I remember correctly, this particular website doesn't do that. Doesn't say we think
Okay.
you'll go round. But this is the closest they get to that, which is to say what they consider his grade to be. But 6'6", 264. His production score was 72. His athleticism score was 86. You see, he did a 40.5 vertical jump, which I think 41 is the record. Myles Garrett did that, if I remember correctly, for a defensive lineman. 10'9" broad jump, 165 on the 10-yard split. Like the athleticism is jumping off the charts.
It is.
And the production against the run was outstanding this year. He's a very good run stuffer. He was an inconsistent pass rusher, but then in the Senior Bowl game, he had a strip sack. You know, like earlier in the week, he didn't look like he had a variety of pass rush moves. And then by the game, he, was playing well against the run and the pass. I like this young man a lot. I like him a lot. I would be more than happy to have him. Let me stop for a second. At that second round pick, number 34, assuming we either already got Cam Ward or, I guess Shador. I don't want Shador, but I'm not saying it's not likely to happen. But if we took care of something other than interior defensive line in round 1, and he was there in round 2, I would be fine with that.
But what about I was gonna say that the kid from South Carolina, the safety, is he safety?
And safety, Nicky Moore. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, yeah, please.
He's gonna be something.
I don't think he's going to be there at 34, to be honest. I really don't. So this is Landon Jackson on draftbuzz.com, NFLdraftbuzz.com. So NFLdraftbuzz.com, shout out for their good work. And their stats are usually pretty accurate. So the stats, they list him as having 6.5 sacks and 1 fumble forced. He forced a fumble probably on a strip sack. He had 49 tackles, of which 28 were solo tackles. And there's his 40 time, which they probably just updated today. But again, they say this website does give you grades. They say that his tackling grade is an 84, which is pretty high. His pass rush grade is an 80, and his run defense is a 95. So like I said, he's someone that really is good against the run. They're projecting him to go in the middle of the first round now. I think, if I remember correctly, that was slightly lower than that yesterday. But yeah, so they're, updating in real time as well. They have him rated as the 8th rated edge person. right? They say defensive line, but oh no, this is both. This is both inside because there's Mason Graham. It's both inside and outside. There's Walter Nolan. There's Kenneth Grant. So Landon Jackson is someone that I really like. And again, defensive end, right? He's 265 pounds. Like this is not a 230-pound just get bend around the edge guy.
Right.
This is a grown man, you know, and most successful run stuffing teams have 3 interior defensive linemen, right?
Right.
Two, and sometimes even just one, and then these outside linebacker edge rusher guys. And that's why teams can gash us with the run. So I'm not a big fan of that concept. So anyway, I just wanted to show you the kind of the way the NFL.com website shows you the information about the combine. You can look it up by individual players. You can look it up by position groups. You can look it up by event. And that way you can kind of keep track of who's doing what. And especially if you look at it by event, you can compare them to everybody else. Right? If you just look at one player, his numbers doesn't really tell you, you know, was that good or bad? That's just, this is what he did. Right. But if you look at the event and it lists everybody who did that event, then you can see, was this guy the 4th best? Was he the 40th best? And it gives you some more context.
It's good to look at this too, because you know, a lot of people, they look at what the quarterbacks and what the receiver and what the running backs do, you know, more skill positions. But it's good to know what the guys who actually win the games for you in the trenches, because that's where the game is won. I mean that's, you know, it makes no sense to have the skill guys if you have no one to block up front or tackle on the other side. So
you saw the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes just forgot how to play quarterback? No, he was running for his life.
He looked like a giant quarterback, didn't he?
He looked like a giant quarterback, running for his life. And yeah, if you can't block, then it doesn't matter who your quarterback is. And it certainly doesn't matter who your wide receivers are.
See, I'm just going to mention one little piece about this. And this is when you mentioned that, because I've been hearing this a lot of this. And one guy, I forgot which reporter said it, but he said, Shedeur Sanders, he may be going to the Giants, but he says, do the Giants really want a quarterback right now that actually was one of the leaders in getting sacked in college? He said, not just 1 year, not just 1 year, his college career.
Yeah, he holds the ball
getting
a lot.
sacked.
He holds the ball too long.
He does. You can't do that with the Giants. You can't hold on to it. You can't. You gotta
get yet. Not yet. Maybe after this offseason, if we sign Trey Smith and Drew Dahlman or Will Fries, or you know, maybe we'll be in better position to do some of those things. But historically, the last 10 years, no. If you're a Giants quarterback, get it out your hands quick, please.
You know, let the guys run under it. You know, just
exactly.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see. So again, I just wanted to give people a quick look at how the combine is set up, at least how NFL.com sets up, you know, the way they keep track of the information. And then throughout the weekend, I'm sure we'll come back and talk again about some of the people who had some highlights. But for this first night, I just wanted to kind of get the ball rolling and show people how it works.
Yeah, I like this. I really like this. This is gonna be good. This is good. This is good stuff.
Good information. All right. So guys, what do you think? You know, what were your comments on some of the things that I clicked on that you saw as far as times, as far as the jumping and the broad jumping, who caught your eye? Did you notice somebody who was kind of near the top that I didn't necessarily mention or see? Tell us about it.
Yeah, do you got any favorites? Please let us know if you have any favorites out there. And I'm like Clay though. The you know, the broad jump is nice. How many times we're gonna be doing that? But it's just a great little thing, I guess, a great thing to see and hear and talk about. You know, I want somebody tough out there who's athletic in a small space, who's tackling. And let's get back to old school, all big blue football. That's all I want. That's all I want.
Absolutely. And to be clear, there's other drills they did, several other drills on the field that they don't actually like time or track. So I didn't talk about those, but There's other drills. So if any of you have NFL.com and are watching, the full combine experience, you're seeing even more than just these numbers.
Right,
And
right.
some of those other drills are just as important, if not more important, bending around the arc and, footwork. So, make sure you don't just judge them on their 40 time and their vertical leap. Look at these other things as well as we are. But I don't want to spend, 2 hours today just looking at footage of people running around, hula hoops that lay on the ground.
Right. I want to see the bench press is what I want to see. That does, no matter what, that tells you a lot right there.
Some big
That
boys.
hand-to-hand fighting, you gotta be strong. You gotta be strong all day with that. So
Yeah, there's
Hey.
some big boys out there who are going to throw that bad boy up a lot. 225. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can bench 225, but I haven't done it in decades, so I'm not even 100% sure I can bench it at all, much less 30 or 40 times. Like somebody. All right. Anyway, listen, that's a good place to pause here for today. Like I said, let us know what you think about this. We'll come back. If there's any particular amazing highlights, maybe we'll show you some clips of those over the next couple of days. But the combine is here, and we're all about it.
We're all about it. Remember, we always ask you to like and share and subscribe. Tell your friends about us. Come on in, leave comments for us because we'll answer your comments and get involved in this combine now. This is our remember. This is our season. This is how we're going to build our team because we don't want to go down any further. We don't want to be in the position we're in right now where we're like, we're at the top of the draft.
I don't want the third pick.
There. That's not the key.
I don't want the third pick again next year.
No, we don't want that. But we're here now. But we're here now. That's all we say. We're here now, but we're going to move up because as Giant fans, we are. Some people call us delusional, but I say, but we say
9 wins to 6
optimistic.
wins. Now it's time to move back up that ladder. That's
right. Exactly.
All right. So Clay from Brooklyn, football with the fellas. I'm here with my buddy.
It's your man Mazo. It's all about Big Blue. Hey, don't forget, next episode, you got to check out, Clay from Brooklyn and that wild strategy he has. But it's good. But I believe, let me know what you think about that one. Please let me know what you think about that one.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all. Until next time.
You know it.
Peace. Big shout out to El Marquis Productions, the talent behind the music and production here at Football with the Fellas. It's all about Big Blue. Their beats bring energy and excitement to every episode. El Marquis' skills in mixing, mastering, and creating top quality sound make the podcast come alive each week. For your own projects, check out elmarquisproductions.com and take your sound to the next level.